Well, ever since I started checking out movie reviews on YouTube, I've come to enjoy some horror movie fanatics that have enjoyed Italian giallo films. And I've watched a few of them, mostly the works of Dario Argento. And now, can you believe it's been 50 years since this film was released in Italy? So I thought, what the hey, I'll give it to you for its 50th anniversary. Here's my review of Dario Argento's Deep Red. Big T's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and I apologize for my eyes trying to give out and what have you. I've accidentally been falling asleep lately, and I needed to try to get this out of the way for you. So, anyway, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and I'm Duel, the Big D to you. This time around, I bring to you a review of the 1975 giallo flick from Italy, Deep Red, directed by Dario Argento, co-written by Argento and Bernard Bernardino Zapponi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Starring David Hemmings as a musician who investigates a series of murders performed by a mysterious figure wearing black leather gloves. It also stars Daria Nicolodi, Gabriele Levia, Masha Merrill, and Clara Calamai. The film's score was composed and performed by the band Goblin, the first in a long-running collaboration with Argento. They would go on to do numerous other works for Argento, most notably films like Suspiria and several others. The film was released in Italy on this day, March 7th, 1975. Henceforth, it's the 50th anniversary for this film. It was released at the height of the giallo craze in Italian popular cinema. It was a critical and commercial success. Retrospective reviews have been equally positive, and it has been considered one of the genre's definitive entries, as well as one of Argento's best works. In 1956, during Christmas at a family home, an unseen figure stabs another to death. A bloody knife falls to the floor close to a child's feet. 20 years later in Rome, Professor Giordani chairs a parapsychology conference featuring psychic medium Helga Ullman. Helga is suddenly overwhelmed by the twisted, perverted, murderous thoughts of someone in the audience. Speaking later with Giordani, Helga says she believes she can identify this person, unaware that someone is listening from the shadows. Later at night, a black-gloved figure invades Helga's apartment and kills her with a meat cleaver. English jazz pianist Marcus Daly sees the murder from the window as he passes by and rushes to her apartment, finding her mutilated corpse. After the police arrive, Marcus thinks one of the apartment's paintings has disappeared, but he cannot pinpoint what exactly is missing. The media identifies Marcus as the eyewitness and shows reporter Gianna Brezzi's photo of him. The next morning, Marcus visits the home of his heavy drinking friend Carlo, but only finds Carlo's eccentric mother Martha, who seems interested in Marcus. That night, the killer plays a recording of a child song outside Marcus's door. He manages to lock the door before the person can enter, but he hears the gruff whisper, "I'll kill you sooner or later." Feeling guilty for endangering him by taking his photo, Gianna begins helping Marcus investigate. Marcus tells Giordani, whom he met at Helga's funeral, about the encounter. Giordani, knowing that Helga also mentioned hearing child song during her vision, recalls a book of modern folklore describing a local haunted house where a child's song is sometimes heard. Marcus finds the folklore book at the library. He rips out a picture of the house and plans to learn more by visiting the book's author, Amanda Rigetti. However, the killer, who has been watching Marcus, attacks Amanda and drowns her in scalding water before Marcus arrives. Marcus uses the photo from the book to find the huge abandoned house. Under sheetrock, he uncovers a disturbing mural, a child holding a bloody knife over a dead body. After he leaves, a loose chunk of sheetrock falls away, revealing another figure in the drawing. Meanwhile, Giordani, who has been assisting Marcus' investigation, is murdered by the killer after being distracted by a large mechanized doll. Continuing his search of the abandoned house, Marcus finds a walled off room in the middle of a dusty floor sits a disc, that hard to pronounce this desiccated corpse. Someone knocks Mark unconscious as he backs away in horror. He awakens outside the house, which is burning. Gianna appears, explaining that she got his message about investigating the house and arrived in time to save him. Marcus and Gianna wait for the police in the house of the caretaker, whose daughter has drawn a picture identical to the hidden mural Marcus found in the house. She tells him she saw the picture in the archives of the local school. Now I'm going to get to the final act and ending, so you need to stop this video immediately. I'll go ahead and give you the 5 seconds, so you better do this right now. Go to the script, and if you have seen this already, you may continue, but if you haven't, stop this video immediately and go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below, alright? Okay, you've been warned. Marcus and Gianna immediately go to the school and find the picture, which proves to be the childhood work of Marcus's friend Carlo. Gianna leaves to call the police and encounters Carlo, who stabs her. Pursued by Marcus and the police, Carlo runs into the dark street and is hit by a garbage truck, which snags his clothing and drags him until an oncoming car runs over his head. Gianna is hospitalized and survives the stabbing. Marcus remembers that on the night of Helga's murder, he manually intoxicated Carlo, coming from a different direction than the killing, meaning that Carlo couldn't have been the killer. Returning to Helga's apartment, Marcus has an epiphany. The supposed painting he saw on the night of the murder and was subsequently unable to find was really the killer's reflection in a mirror. As Marcus realizes he saw Martha, Carlos's mother, she appears behind him with a meat cleaver. Martha explains that after her husband said he would recommit her to an insane asylum, she murdered him in front of the young Carlo. She walled off the room containing his body. Carlos, scarred psychologically, compulsively drew the scene as a youth. Well, no, wait, it's not scared. I mispronounced. I said scarred. It's scared. I'm sorry. Well, compulsively drew the scene as a youth and as an adult tried to repress the memory of the homicide with alcohol. He attacked Marcus and Gianna to protect his murderous mother from their investigation. Martha attacks Marcus and wounds him with a cleaver. After Martha's necklace tangles in the bars of the building's elevator, Marcus sends the elevator down, decapitating her. End of story. So what did I think of Deep Red? Now I've seen this just a few times, and I'm going to say I absolutely think this is a masterpiece and a very good work from Dario Argento. This was just a little bit of ways before he even gave us Suspiria, but now of course Argento had done other works before this. However, and yeah, because he had already done some films like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage and The Cat of Nine Tails. Now, of course, Suspiria would be his next film after this. So, anyway, I'm going to say this proved to be a real shocking, suspenseful horror flick that came direct from Italy. It did a lot in Italy, and it did pretty good for the US market as well. And it was distributed in the US by a now defunct US independent film distributor in Howard Mahler Films. It was once again re-released and retitled in 1980 as The Hatchet Murders, and then 2 years later as The Phantom of Terror. Anyway, this film's still still known by its actual title, Deep Red, here in the US. The film has gotten good reviews. The film sits at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say the kinetic camera work and brutal, over the top gore that made Dario Argento famous is on full display but the addition of a compelling, complex story makes this film a masterpiece. I couldn't agree more. Metacritic has a score of 89 out of 100. But there was one. Here's one negative review upon the film's original American release that came from the New York Times. Vincent Canby, who referred to the film as a bucket of axe murder movie cliches and called Argento a director of incomparable incompetence. Quentin Tarantino later, described being railed by the movie as a teenager and picked it as one of his favorite horror movies. From retrospective reviews, Kim Newman wrote for the Monthly Film Bulletin that Deep Red was a transitional work for Argento between his earlier whodunit plots and the more supernatural themed films, and concluded that the film is nothing if not an elaborate mechanism with the camera crawling among, it's hard to pronounce the words and what have you. Just some stuff. Total film enjoyed. Knowing that Argento's films can be an acquired taste, it's necessary to attune yourself with a horror director style in order to get the most from his movies. Reviews stated that the film presents some striking visual compositions that raise it above the level of the usual subgenre offerings. Definitely. There's lots of other good reviews and what have you. So, anyway, I really found Deep Red to be pretty good. Now, the original Italian version is 126 minutes long. Most US versions remove 22 minutes worth of footage, including the most graphic violence. All humorous scenes, almost all of the romantic scenes between David Hemmings and Daria Nicolodi, and part of the subplot regarding the House of the Screaming Child. Still, it's been released in numerous cuts of what have you on physical media and what have you. But anyway, it has been released in its original form and sometimes in edited versions. I can't remember which versions I've seen though. I might have seen the original uncut, but I might be wrong though. But I found Deep Red to be pretty good. Goblin's contribution to the score and what have you was absolutely really good, and they did an absolutely good job with the film's soundtrack. Now, of course, Argento originally contacted jazz pianist and composer Giorgio Gasolini to score the film, but he was unhappy with the output. And after failing to get Pink Floyd to replace him, Argento turned back to Italy and found Goblin, a local progressive band. And their leader impressed Argento by producing two compositions within just one night. So he signed them immediately, and they ended up composing most of the film's musical score, which was absolutely wonderful. For our cast, we have David Hemmings as Marcus. He was good. Daria Nicolodi played Gianna. Very good. Gabriel Levia as Carlo. Everyone was good. Macha Merrill as Helga. And Clara Calamai as Martha. Yeah, the list goes on. There's lots of other characters and what have you. So for what I've seen of Deep Red, I think it's a pretty good film. So would I recommend it? I'd say hell yeah. If you're into Dario Argento's work and what have you, and you never saw this film, you don't know what you're missing. This is a film worth looking into. I think you'll really like it. And I do agree, this is definitely one of his great works, aside from films that came out later, like Suspiria, for example, plus other films, including its follow up, Inferno, and let's see, and Phenomena, and there's been other films he's done. But anyway, Deep Red is worth looking into. So what did you think of Deep Red? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you like. And next time will be my next Saturday morning TV log. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other Dario Argento flicks. In the upper left-hand corner, while I may not have got a picture for it, but I'll go ahead and give it to you anyway, my review of Suspiria from 1977. The upper right-hand corner is my review of its sequel from 1980, Inferno, or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of Phenomena, which was released in the mid-80s. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.